You might be working at a Wendy's and you let that Wendy's define who you are. And you come into it and you say, okay, man, I have a job at a Wendy's. Like, I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Or you say, I have this internal mindset of, oh my gosh, I want to do these crazy things. I want to do these incredible things, whatever. I'm going to take that and I'm going to take who I am into this Wendy's every shift. And who you are is someone who does that, who takes everything to the next level, who wants to make everything epic, who wants to just go beyond. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that into your job, and you're not someone with a boring Wendy's job. You are an employee that's there working at Wendy's, but your mind is so, you just want to go beyond. You want to go hardcore in it. You know what I'm saying? Hey everyone, it's Ryan with Legendary, and today I want to talk about work hard from day one. So this is just all, it's just all thanks to my dad. It's thanks to my dad, it's thanks to God, my relationship with God and all that. But I got my first job when I was 17. I think I was like 17, almost 18, something like that. And my dad just always told me, you know, before the job started, whatever, he was like, okay, just go in there and work your hardest, you know. And I had like a youth pastor, he told me this too. He said, just, you know, work super hard. And I just totally took that to heart. I think it was my dad saying that for me to work hard, and I've obviously seen him my whole life working hard, providing for us, giving us an amazing childhood and all that. There was that, and then there was my relationship with God, my beliefs. At that time, I was so solid in my relationship with God and like what I believed about reality and things like that. And I said, this is something that God gave me. I need to reflect Him through this job. I need to work super hard. You know what I'm saying? And I just, from day one, that was just in me, you know? That was just in me to work hard. And so day one, the minute work started, I was like, I'm going to be the hardest worker. I'm going to work extremely hard, you know? And it was at a snow cone place. And I was just so locked in. I was like, let me work so hard. Let me work super hard. And so yeah, I got that one. I got that first job because of an interview. So I went in for an interview and that was good and all that, and I got hired. I think every single job that I've had after that was someone seeing me working and being like, hey, can you come work for me? You know? Which is, you know, I'm just saying that, like, just to encourage you to work extremely hard. You know what I'm saying? And I worked at the snow cone place. There wasn't anyone there that was like, hey, I want you to come work for me. But I worked super hard. And then at the church that I was at, the like cafe was having trouble with all the orders that were coming in. So it was like, hey, can someone come help us, you know, with the cafe? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll come help. And so I just worked super freaking hard. It was my first time, but you know, it just took care of all the orders, whatever, super fast. And you know, obviously, I'm not saying that to whatever. I'm just saying it to encourage you that if you work super hard, then just good things happen from it, you know? And so at that church cafe, they took me on to work there, so I was working there off and on a little bit. And then there was a guy who worked there at the church cafe, and he saw me working and how hard I worked and all that. And he was like, hey, you want to come work for me at this other job? And so, you know, I went to go work there, and I was working there, working super, super hard over there. Oh, that was so much fun. I worked at this hotel, and it was just so much fun. But I worked there, and then I was doing all these odd jobs, you know, like gig jobs and stuff like that. And working on those, and then I worked for a friend of mine doing some flooring work. And I was working super hard on that, and then he was like, hey, I'm going to go work with some friends. You want to come with me on that? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. So I worked super hard there, and then the guy that was working there was like, hey, I'm going to hire you. I want to hire you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like every job that I've gotten, it's just been someone seeing me work hard. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't care about saying, oh, I worked really hard, whatever. It's just to say for your life, if you just, I worked, it was because of my dad, it was because of God that it was in me. Let me work super freaking hard. And that caused me to, when there was like a downtime, whatever, and there wasn't like work to do, I was like, all right, let me go harder than everybody. Let me be better. It was just like, I just want to do the best. You know, I want to do my best job that I can, you know? And so any downtime that there was, it was like, let me figure out how to to make it better, to make processes better in the company. Let me go above and beyond, you know what I'm saying? Let me work my absolute hardest. And that is just, that, I worked at a snow cone place, you know, but I was like, let me just improve everything I can about the snow cone place. And so the thing is that you might have like this mindset about your 9-to-5 job that it's like, let me just go in, let me clock in, let me get the money, whatever. If there's downtime, I'll take the downtime, you know, and I'll just chill, whatever. But you can go into your 9-to-5 job and you can put who you are onto that thing. And you can say, on the outside, on the surface, this just looks like a boring 9-to-5 job. And there might be a lot of people who kind of look at it, or in your company, whatever, who look at the job and they're like, this is kind of boring, you know? Or, you know, when there's downtime, you just kind of don't do anything. Or you try to get away with a little extra time that you're just making money without doing anything, whatever. But you can, it's an option for you to, like, you don't have to do this, you know? But you can go into the job and say, I'm going to bring everything I've got into this. And that's not to say that, you know, oh, you're locked in a 9-to-5 job and you're just going to only do 9-to-5 jobs for your whole life. It's just to say to do your absolute best in everything that you're doing. So you can put yourself and your beliefs and your mindset into that 9-to-5 job, and you can go beyond the tasks that you're given, and you can say, I'm just going to do my absolute best to absolutely kill it. You know what I'm saying? If there's downtime, I'm just going to think like, for the company, I'm going to think like how the bosses think, whatever, and what's most valuable to them. And I'm going to go further, and I'm going to push it further, and I'm going to work so hard, you know? And you're just working at a snow cone place. You're just working at a Wendy's, whatever. Here's the thing for me. You might be working at a Wendy's, and you let that Wendy's define who you are. And you come into it, and you say, okay, man, I have a job at a Wendy's, like, I'm not going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Or you say, I have this internal mindset of, oh my gosh, I want to do these crazy things, I want to do these incredible things, whatever. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take who I am into this Wendy's every shift. And who you are is someone who does that, who takes everything to the next level, who wants to make everything epic, who wants to just go beyond, you know what I'm saying? And if you can take that into your job, and you're not someone with a boring Wendy's job. You are an employee that's there working at Wendy's, but your mind is so, you just want to go beyond. You want to go hardcore in it, you know what I'm saying? And you can just think outside the box in that Wendy's job. And people will be like, oh my gosh, what is this dude doing working at a Wendy's? He's so, she, whatever. That worker is so motivated. You know what I'm saying? Such a hard worker. Why are they so motivated at this Wendy's? You know what I'm saying? But it's that mindset in the small, boring things, and what you put into it, and what you put into that situation, that just, I feel like your mind takes that and puts it into when you get home in the evening, and it's boring, and you're at a boring house, and you're at a boring apartment, and it's not fun, and whatever. It's the same thing. Like, you're at the Wendy's, make it amazing, make it epic. Go beyond. If there's not a position that's open for what you want to be doing, whatever, just go so hard that the bosses, that everyone there is like, okay, let's just, this is crazy. Like, we'll make an exception for you. You're working so hard. We'll figure something out to give you this or whatever. And if you're going into it with the idea of this Wendy's is acting upon you and it defines you, it's this little boring job, whatever, then you won't have that drive to get to that point that pushes it further. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that it carries over. It's important because it carries over into the evening when there's nothing acting, when you have to act upon your situation. If, you come home to your apartment and you've got the TV there, you've got like a table there, a desk, whatever, to work or something like that, and you've got a TV there, you can just kind of let that TV act upon you and define you and say, when I get home, I'm there at the apartment, there's not a lot going on, I'm just going to let this TV act upon me and, entertain me and whatever. Or you take that Wendy's mindset and you go to your apartment and you say, I've been at Wendy's, super boring, not that Wendy's is boring, whatever, but a low-level job. I've been there and I put my same self into that and I worked hardcore despite my circumstances, whatever. If you go home to your little ugly apartment, home, whatever, in your ugly car, you say, I'm not thinking about the ugly car. I'm not thinking about the ugly apartment. I'm not thinking about my situation. I'm going to work. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to whatever. I'm going to put who I am into this situation and let that define what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have that crazy drive no matter your situation. And so you have that mindset at the Wendy's or whatever. For me, the snow cone place, whatever. I'm like, I've got this mindset. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to whatever job I'm at and just go hardcore and think outside the box and just go further and go beyond. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the video is all about, is, just working hard from day one. And thank you to my dad, and thank you to God. And you just want to have that right mindset about work and what you're doing. And it makes things progress. Like, you might be in a job where you might have this situation where you're in a job where you have this, but the boss isn't really on board or whatever, or they're like, sorry, there's nothing we can do, whatever. You still have that mindset. And so if you take that to another job, you might end up with a boss that's kind of more like, oh, I see, you're like, yeah, you're working really hard, whatever. You have retained that mindset and you're going to put it into these different things. And, you're not going to, you have to have the not delusionally staying at a Wendy's. But what I'm saying is, when they're not giving you raises and all that, you want to have a little bit of balance of that. But you have that mindset. Somebody's going to see that. Somebody's going to pick up on that. Somebody is going to say, what? How are you? Why is this dude at this Wendy's? Look, and even if you're there for 5 years, whatever, if you take that same thing home, you're not going to be at a Wendy's for forever. You are progressing things when you get home after work. And you take that same self, that same internal state to act upon what's going on. And you work hard and you keep going above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's just working hard from day one. It just makes things happen, And the right person sees it. The right person sees your potential. The right person sees your work ethic. And even without that, just having the strength of the integrity of when the boss is here, when the boss isn't here, I'm going to work super hard. I'm not going to work hard when he's here and then not work hard when he goes away. You know what I'm saying? I have this integrity, this strength, to say character is important. A foundation of character, a consistent character is going to have these positive impacts on my life, these positive this positive influence on my life. And staying consistent in that character, no matter the situation, no matter what's going on, no matter what it is. It's a Wendy's, it's a boring job, it's an ugly apartment, it's a bad living situation. Just, you can put someone with a great mindset in that, and they'll work through it, and they'll get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? But if you let that define you, then that can just stifle everything and become what it is. You're like, oh man, I'm the guy who works at a Wendy's with this bad, dirty old car, whatever. And you let that define you. Like, no, you have to be hardcore on the internal state, and putting you into the situation and not being defined by what's going on around you. So, I just think it goes deeper than, just, oh, work hard. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like, work hard, but it's a deep topic, It's what is in there telling you to work hard. What's going on inside of you, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, just the whole point is, I would just, I always want to stay locked in on this, on working hard. And I want it for you too, to just always be focused on, just committed to that, and who you are and your character, to working hard, and just from day one, just getting after it and, not letting up. Just get on this streak at work, of just, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work super hard from day one. I'm going to have that integrity and just run with that, you know what I'm saying? And have that be part of your character, part of who you are. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks again to God, and thanks again to my dad. And, yeah, guys, had like my childhood and all that. I have an amazing dad who just, he put that in me. And, if you don't have that, just, try to spend some time developing that, or, take it from, hopefully, like the energy that I'm giving, to just have that good character, that mindset to work hard, I'm so thankful that I was started off on the right track to do that, and I'm just telling you from my experience that if you just do that, if you just go hardcore, if you just work so hard, it's just, okay, but personally, like, I'm just being honest, I didn't really see it a lot, I haven't really seen it, a ton. I haven't seen it a lot where someone's like super hard, like really hard, and, I've had like 5 times where someone was like, hey, come and work for me, because they saw me working, and it's just like powerful, and so if you just do that, someone is probably going to snag you from a Wendy's, and be like, oh my gosh, you might not have the qualifications, whatever. You might not. That's what it was with me with a couple jobs. It was like, oh shoot, okay, well, I can teach you how to do this. I can teach you this skill. I can teach you how to do these different things. But I can't teach someone, and I can't put it inside of someone necessarily to work hard. And so I had people that were like, dude, I can teach you this different skill, but I can't teach people how to work hard, but you're already there with the motivation, with the working hard, so I just come with me, just come with me, come in my company, I'll just teach you, but you already have the motivation, the working hard. and the good work ethic. It's like, that's what I experience. People just like, they'll teach you the skill, whatever, but just, if you just stand out with the, just stand out with the motivation and the hard work, I say that how I like never hadn't seen someone, a lot like that, really. There's a few people and whatever, but I didn't see it too much, and so you just stick out, honestly. You just like, geez, you know what I'm saying? That is some hard work. Or, I want to, like, just with my life and my beliefs and how hardcore I want to go, and what I want to achieve, and, I want to live the best life, whatever. You're not living for this, whatever, but it's just like, you want to see that there's results and whatever. So you want to be the person that it's like, people are saying, bro, I didn't realize, like, you could work that hard. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize someone could be that motivated. I've never seen someone who figured that way out to do that. I've never seen someone just such a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? And if you get to that point, it's just, the point is, I haven't seen that a ton. So if someone sees that, if a boss sees that, sometimes it's like, come work for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I've never even seen that before. Like, come work for me. You know what I'm saying? And you have that same mindset in your job with that boss. They're like, oh, yeah, raise. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because you weren't defined by what's going on. You put your character and you put who you were into the situation, and you said, I'm going to make, like, if there's not a position for you within the company, whatever, me personally, man, I want to be at the point where there's a company policy. Yeah, we only do like this amount of raise every year, whatever. I want to break through that. I want to break through that, and they're like, look, I know how we have this thing normally, but you are just absolutely killing it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna actually, like, don't tell anyone else this, but we're gonna give you this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go in there and hear that and be like, oh, okay, well, it's like every year, guaranteed. I'm probably just gonna chill a little bit, If you go insane, if you go crazy, and you have, like, try to have the mindset of the owner or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, you may have that in your policy. I'm going to try to think like you're thinking, and just, like, get as much business, get as much work done, be as efficient as possible, help you put these new systems in place to make it better, to make more revenue, whatever. And then they go, shoot, we kind of had that policy because, like, that's just kind of how it goes, and people kind of progress at this certain rate, whatever. But, oh my gosh, I think we're going to make an exception for you, because that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I want to be at the point that's, like, pushing through those regulations. You know what I'm saying? That's me personally. I just want to just go hardcore. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just some different ideas, and you just don't have to be defined by this situation, these hard and fast rules, these whatever. You can just go mad hardcore, and if they stay hold fast to those regulations at that company, you're still that way. You know what I'm saying? You'll probably progress faster. You'll probably, even if it's these regulations, whatever, they might have a little leeway for there to be a little more, whatever. And, you're in there in that way, and it might not work, but you have that. You still have that for the next company, And then you come across the boss who is like, oh my gosh, and then they make an exception for you. And, yeah, so you just don't want to be caged in how everything is normally done. You know what I'm saying? You want to break through that. You want to go beyond. And it's just going to have the best rewards. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, guys, it's just, yeah, like I said, it's deeper than just, oh, work hard, But yeah, that's what it is, guys. Work hard from day one. So I hope that's been able to help. Hope that's been able to help some of y'all and whatever. And you know, just that's kind of my mindset on it, is work hard from day one. So I'll catch you guys next time. Hey everyone, if you were looking to receive life coaching, I am offering life coaching one-on-one sessions through Zoom. And life coaching is not necessarily telling you what to do, but it's more so asking the right questions, going deeper on your situation, and just being someone to listen to you and help you reach your goals. So with Legendary Life Coaching, it is weekly sessions on Zoom, and we would be going in depth on kind of your situation and all that. And it's also the weekly accountability for if you're wanting to hit these different goals and improve in different areas. And then you'll also get access to your virtual whiteboard, which basically will allow us to keep track of all your different thoughts about things and your progression towards, you know, hitting different goals and making progress in all kinds of different areas. I personally love it. You can even put images in there and all kinds of things to just really get a good idea of what's going on in your life and what you want to achieve, where you want to get to, and the things that you want to make improvements on. So it's to have someone to talk to, someone that will just, you know, listen to you, listen to everything that's going on in your situation, and also help you to reach those different goals. So if you're interested, I've got the link in the description.